When most people enter retirement, it's a day that's been on their mind for a very long time. And the last thing that we expect is to become bored. But for many people, that's exactly what happens.
At first, there's a great feeling of relief, of getting away from the stress and the commitment that takes all of our energy and much of our days. But after a few days or weeks or even months, people can miss the routine, the fulfillment, and the community of friends.
So what happens in a short period of time is that all of a sudden you may be consumed with nothing to do. And if you don't address this now, you risk spending a lot of your time feeling unfulfilled and wasting the best years of your life.
We often hear things like, I thought retirement was supposed to be relaxing. And our answer is usually, yeah, but too much relaxation can lead to boredom and maybe even dissatisfaction.
Yeah, and even with hobbies, other factors can contribute to boredom. Just having not enough things to do during the day, not having a reason to get up in the morning, for instance, really can create boredom.
My mom used to say, bored people are only those that lack imagination.
Bored people are those that lack. I love that.
Yeah.
And another thing we hear from people is, I'm just not used to having so much free time. That is a significant problem in retirement.
It's a real common issue.
It is, and it's
really
something
is.
that you want to address, and we hopefully can help you with that today. Now, if you're new here, I'm Mark, and this is my wife, Jody.
And we don't focus on the financial aspects of retirement, but rather your lifestyle, your health, your relationships, and more.
So hit the subscribe button, but more importantly, share this video with someone that you care about that's on the same journey with you to help them find ways to get rid of boredom in retirement.
So, when I think of boredom in retirement, I think of a kind of a tale of two cities, right? So my mom, when she retired from banking after 35 years and a very successful career, she had a community of girlfriends. She played golf. She played racquetball at the time. She walked with friends. She had a lunch bunch that met every week. She, enjoyed her faith. She really kind of hit retirement like all systems go.
And she had a husband.
That's the tale of the other city.
Oh, well, I was going to say, he went off and played golf 2 days a week. That gave her like really cool alone time.
Right.
That she was never bored. That was her best time.
But he was the tale of the other city. He was, in a very big, busy political job in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. And he was playing golf and he was organizing functions and fundraisers and just, he always had stories and things to talk about and, things to tell. And unfortunately what happened is my mom died early of pancreatic cancer after a successful retirement start. And my pop, when he retired, didn't have my mom anymore, started to do the things that sometimes retired people do. He was watching too much TV, relaxing too much, eating terribly, losing his friends, just not staying connected, and really not being motivated.
Yeah.
And we've really had to work with him and be on him to get himself moving.
Yeah,
and he was bored, and he would call me and tell me, I'm bored. I'm so bored. I have no one to talk to. I have nothing to do. And I'm like, Pop, you have all this time. Get creative. And he's finally come out of it.
Well,
I think.
It's true. And my dad was bored in retirement, which was, the demise of his retirement because he just didn't know what to do all day long. And it is deadly. I mean, I tell people I believe retirement can kill you, and one of the things that kill you is boredom because you just don't know what to do. You don't know where to start. You don't know what to, you don't know what to do first thing in the morning. The average number of hours that people watch TV over the age of 65 is 38 hours a week.
It's a full-time
and
job.
And that's boring. It has to be boring, that
Right.
much TV.
There can't be that much good TV.
There can't be that much good TV. Well, look, there's a free download below because if you're bored, you want to download our downsizing guide because that will give you something to do.
There you
We have
go.
other videos on decluttering and all of that, but let's jump into the main teaching points. The first reason that people become bored in retirement is because they lose their routine and structure. And this daily routine and structure that you had for all of these years is now suddenly gone, so you don't have no more regular schedule. Your days feel aimless. You don't have really good time management. So you have a difficult time establishing new routines, and you feel disoriented.
And really dislocated, right?
Yeah.
Oftentimes when people finally retire, they may be alone and they just feel really dislocated. So what are some steps to fix it?
Right. Well, you can create a daily schedule with activities. You can bring in exercise and hobbies.
Yeah. You can set small daily goals to maintain a sense of accomplishment. And if you like, and you're used to using planners or apps to organize your time, fill your calendar.
Right.
Right?
Nice. Number 2, having a lack of purpose. Work sometimes provides a sense of purpose and accomplishment, which is really important.
And sometimes you feel that you're no longer contributing to goals, you have difficulty finding new meaning, you lack daily achievements, and you start to question your real self-worth.
Right.
So how do you fix it?
Here's what you do. You can volunteer for causes you care about. You can explore new hobbies or interests. You've heard this before, but work on this. You can set personal goals and challenges, and you can reflect on what you find to be meaningful so that you don't feel bored.
Absolutely. The other thing that happens is, you have this reduced social interaction at times. Now, I told you the story of my mom. My mom had enhanced social interactions. Mm-hmm. My pop had reduced social interactions. Many social interactions typically occur in the workplace or around the workplace. So you lose your camaraderie. There's fewer social engagements. You get an increased feeling of isolation, and sometimes people feel as you age, it's harder to make new friends. And you really miss those workplace connections. So how do you fix it?
So here's what you can do to improve and have new social interaction. You can join a local club or group. You can still, if you're retired, join a Rotary Club or something like that. I think reconnecting with old friends and family is such a great way to kickstart your retirement as far as having social friends and community. Get involved with community events. Use technology. Start texting. Go on, if you're on Facebook or LinkedIn or whatever, reach out to some of the folks that used to be in your life and create a new relationship again.
All right, so let's talk about identity crisis. For many, their identity is closely tied to their profession. Loss of your professional identity as soon as you retire. You're unsure of what your new role in life was. If you were the CEO and you come home and your house has been operating for 30 years without you having a big role, what is your new role? You're unsure of that. Struggling with your self-perception. Who am I now? What do I want to be? And you have difficulty adjusting to any new identity that you start to test. So how do you fix it?
You have an identity crisis and you're bored. You don't know who you are and what you're going to do. You know what? We talked about hobbies and volunteering, but reflect on your values and what you really enjoy doing. Spend some time journaling about that. Listen, there's nothing wrong with hiring a coach or a counselor to get help. Watch a bunch of our videos and pay attention to some of the things we say about what you can do as well. And embrace your new identity. I think it's really important not to tag yourself as, well, now I'm retired, but what is at the core of who you are in retirement? Because then you can build activities around that.
So in activity, let's talk about that. The transition from an active work life to a more sedentary retirement really promotes lack of physical activity, shows you have all this idle time, which you don't want to waste time, not as you age, you want to fill your time. There's the risk of some health issues. I don't know how many of you know older people or generations beyond you. And, you might spend a lot of time talking about your health issues. You have less mental stimulation and there's a real need for regular exercise.
Right.
So all this is happening, and how do you fix it?
Well, so you're inactive. You wake up, you're bored, you don't know what to do. Here's what you can do to fix it. We talk about exercise so much, but you know what? Get up in the morning and go for a walk. Just leave the house, walk 10 minutes one way and come back. Call friends for coffee. Join a fitness class. Set some fitness goals for yourself. Connecting with people, a weekly men's coffee, something where you've got something to look forward to each week is really going to help you become more active and get you out of this boredom state.
Okay, so now I've retired and I'm bored, and on top of it all, I have financial concerns. I'm worried about my finances, and I haven't really been very good at budgeting. We hear that quite a bit. Stress over money management is debilitating. Fear of outliving your savings is debilitating. Hesitation on spending on any type of activities holds you back and keeps you in a bored state. There is a need for careful budgeting, and there is a need for financial planning, and there are challenges, but address them. So how do you fix all that?
Your financial your
Health.
financial health is what it is. You've retired, you have a certain amount of money, but if you are so concerned about your finances that you're frozen and you don't do anything and you find yourself bored, you got to work your way out of it. So number one, we are big believers in financial planners. A lot of people say, wow, it's too expensive. Well, it's not. At the end of the day, when you meet with a financial planner, long term, it's not more expensive than without one. It really can help you a lot. Put together a budget. Explore some part-time work or freelancing. Listen, we're working now part-time. We're doing this YouTube channel. It's really important. Track your expenses and adjust as needed, but spend some time fixing your finances so that you're not all consumed with worry and stress over that.
The next one is, as we age, physical and mental health issues come. They just do. That's what happens when you age. There are health issues. They may limit your activity options. They may have impact on your mobility. You may be dealing with some chronic conditions, and you know that you have need for regular medical care. And are you paying attention to that? So all these things are happening, which leads you to a low activity, bored state in retirement.
Yeah, because you're all consumed with your health issues.
So how do we fix it?
Well, eating healthier is one thing. We see so many people who are overweight, and it's because they eat poorly and they don't exercise. You've got to find a way through that. You can't just wake up every day and say, well, I'll start eating healthier tomorrow. I'll walk tomorrow. You have to do it today. It's going to give you energy, and you're not going to feel bored when you start doing that. You got to stay mentally active, puzzles, reading, learning, whatever it might be. We talk a lot about lifelong learning. It's really important. And if you've got some mental health problems like depression, anxiety, you have to fix that. All of that slows you down, and all of a sudden now you're bored and you got to get out of it.
This next bucket was me. I was a retiree that didn't have time during my 35-year career with, raising 6 kids to develop any hobbies or interests outside of work. So lack of hobbies or interests can add to your boredom. You may struggle to find new activities. You may lack just overall engagement. You may kind of have inertia when it comes to exploring new hobbies or activities. And that all leads to a difficulty in filling up your free time, so you're sedentary again. So how do we fix it?
Well, you can certainly, again, volunteering, we talk about it all the time, but there are such great organizations, I'm sure where you live, whether it's a church or a community center or a nonprofit that you have passion around, where you can go in and use some of your certain skills that you've had during your career. Listen, if you're a plumber, you've been a plumber your whole life, take that skill and go help some nonprofit organizations that really, they run some group homes and they can't really afford a plumber. So you could do that, and you're going to meet people, you're going to use
Absolutely.
your skill. I think there's a lot of things that you can do. You've just got to think out of the box a little bit. That keeps you busy and gives you something to do.
Now, this next one we hear a lot, this overwhelming feeling of freedom. This sudden freedom can just overwhelm you with too much unstructured time, difficulty managing that free time. You turn the TV on in the morning and you watch the morning news, and before you know it, it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon and you really haven't moved around a lot. This idea of feeling aimless with no direction and no real new, because you do need new types of time management skills in retirement. So all this is going on, leading to enhanced boredom, and how do you fix it?
Well, the first thing you can do, and start with tomorrow, plan out tomorrow morning what you're going to do. Plan out what time you're going to get up, what are you going to have for breakfast, are you going to watch TV or not, are you going to meet with some buddies for coffee, are you going to go to the library. I mean, figure out what you're going to do. Start planning at least your mornings where you've got a reason to get up, go to the local coffee shop, meet a buddy. Start setting some short-term goals, some long-term goals, but you want to start having a standard routine that balances relaxation along with the activity.
Absolutely.
And listen, take larger breaks or larger tasks that you have to do, like you want to clean the garage. Break it down into an hour a day so it's not like overwhelming and then you decide not to do it.
This next one we also hear a lot of, and it's this reality of retirement may not live up to your expectations. So it's that bucket of expectations versus reality, which leads to disappointment, which leads to you feeling let down, and you know, it leads to you really having to sit and adjust your expectations. Otherwise, you go in the downward spiral of being bored.
Well, the expectation is that retirement's going to be wonderful. The reality is, for you maybe, is that you're bored. So you've got to find a way through it. So think about some of the things that really make you happy. What were you doing during your career when you were the happiest? And think about, how do you bring that activity into your retirement? How do you start focusing on the positives in your life? Every morning, get up and write 3 things you're grateful for. And 1 self-affirmation, 1 thing about yourself that you're really good at. Start having this positive mental thinking. Get some help from professionals if you need it, but find some buddies, or buddies, what do girls call? Girlfriends, pals or girlfriends that are in retirement and they're a little bored too. And start doing some things together. I think getting together socially is such a huge way to get on board.
Yeah, to get out of that
volunteer with
state.
some friends. I mean, there's a lot you could do.
Remember, recognizing why retirement can be boring is the first step to making it exciting and fulfilling. So take proactive steps and address these causes.
Well, we hope you got some good tips today. And if you're still bored, this next video, how to declutter your home in retirement, you're going to love this one. And it's something we all should start to do. But we're going to walk you through the entire process on how to kill boredom by decluttering your home. Watch this next.